Roman Reigns has held WWE hostage for over 1,300 days. And the worst part? WWE doesn't just allow it, they celebrate it. While fans chant for anyone else, while arenas empty during his segments, while millions tune out because they're sick of the same predictable outcome, Vince McMahon's chosen one stands tall, smirking, untouchable. This isn't wrestling anymore. This is a dictatorship. And Roman Reigns isn't the hero of this story, he's the villain WWE refuses to acknowledge. The numbers don't lie, the crowd reactions don't lie, and by the end of this video, you'll understand why Roman's reign isn't legendary, it's a cancer that's destroying everything we love about professional wrestling. Let's rewind to August 2020. SummerSlam. Paul Heyman walks out with a new client, and Roman Reigns returns after months away, looking different, sounding different, carrying himself like a man possessed. The tribal chief was born. And for the first few months, it was brilliant. Roman was finally interesting. He was finally believable. He was finally the heel everyone wanted him to be for years. But here's where the nightmare begins. What started as a fresh character evolution turned into WWE's ultimate safety net. Roman became the champion they could rely on no matter what. Title defenses? Barely clean. Challengers? Buried. Storylines? Repetitive. Every single pay-per-view for 3 years followed the same formula. Roman looks vulnerable, Paul Heyman panics, the Usos interfere, Roman wins, Roman smirks, repeat. The fans started to see through it. This wasn't a dominant heel champion, this was creative bankruptcy with a championship belt. Every rising star that came close to Roman got fed to the machine. Cesaro? Squashed. Kevin Owens? Humiliated. Finn Balor? Forgotten. Even legends like Edge and Daniel Bryan couldn't escape the Roman Reigns black hole. They all fell. They all bent the knee. And WWE acted like this was storytelling genius. But the real question is this: when does dominance become monotony? When does a reign stop building a legacy and start destroying a division? Drop a comment and tell me at what point did you stop caring about Roman's matches because you already knew the truth. The numbers reveal the truth that WWE refuses to admit. Television ratings during Roman's reign? Declining. Pay-per-view rates? Stagnant. Merchandise sales? Carried by part-timers and legends. But WWE keeps Roman on top because they're terrified of what happens when he's not there. They built the entire company around one man, and that man has become a creative prison. Here's what makes this reign so hated: it's not just that Roman wins. It's how he wins. It's the disrespect to the audience's intelligence. Every title defense is the same smoke and mirrors. The Usos interfere, Paul Heyman distracts the referee, Roman hits a spear, 1 2 3, move on to the next victim. There's no drama. There's no stakes. There's no reason to believe anyone can beat him because WWE has made it clear no one will. And when someone finally does get close, WWE protects Roman even in defeat. He lost the titles at WrestleMania, but did he get pinned? No. Did he take the fall? No. He lost in a technicality, in a way that kept him looking strong even in loss. Because God forbid Roman Reigns looks human. God forbid the tribal chief actually earns respect by taking a clean loss. Compare this to the great heel champions of the past. Ric Flair made every challenger look like $1 million. Hollywood Hogan created stars by putting them over when it mattered. JBL was despicable, but his reign elevated Eddie Guerrero, John Cena, and Batista. Even heel Brock Lesnar's dominance felt special because he wasn't on TV every single week killing the mystique. But Roman? He's on every show, in every main event, cutting the same promo, wrestling the same match, delivering the same outcome. The mystique is gone. The aura is manufactured. And the worst part? The locker room knows it. There are reports of frustration backstage, of talents feeling like they're treading water because Roman's orbit doesn't allow anyone else to shine. Think about the casualties. Braun Strowman was white-hot until he ran into Roman. Samoa Joe had legendary promos but got fed to Roman. Keith Lee was positioned as a monster until Roman made him look ordinary. Riddle was over with the crowd until Roman's storyline made him feel irrelevant. The list goes on and on. Promising careers derailed because they had the misfortune of being Roman's next conquest. Here's the brutal reality: Roman Reigns' reign hasn't built the next generation. It's buried them. Every young star that could have been elevated instead became another name on Roman's resume. Another forgotten challenger. Another remember when story that ends with Roman standing tall. And the fans? They're exhausted. They're tired of the same predictable booking. They're tired of being told Roman is the greatest when their eyes tell them something different. They're tired of chanting for other wrestlers only to watch WWE ignore them and push Roman harder. This isn't heat. This isn't good heel work. This is apathy. This is resentment. This is the audience checking out because they know their voice doesn't matter. Tell me in the comments who's one wrestler that should have beaten Roman but got buried instead? Because I guarantee everyone watching has at least 3 names in their head right now. So what's the long-term damage? What happens when Roman's reign finally ends? WWE has created a wasteland. An entire main event scene that's been conditioned to revolve around one man. When Roman steps away, who's left standing that feels like a legitimate main eventer? Who's been built up enough to carry the company? Cody Rhodes might be the answer WWE is banking on, but even his story is defined by Roman. He doesn't feel like his own star, he feels like the guy who exists to eventually dethrone the tribal chief. That's not building a star. That's building a plot device. The comparison to other hated reigns is fascinating. CM Punk's 434-day reign was controversial because he wasn't the chosen one. Fans loved Punk, but WWE kept him out of main events. His reign was hated by the company, not the audience. JBL's 10-month reign was hated because he was a bully character who felt beneath the championship. But Roman? His reign is hated because it represents everything wrong with modern WWE: predictability, favoritism, and creative stagnation. The tragedy is that Roman Reigns is talented. He's an incredible athlete. His matches with the right opponent can be spectacular. His character work as the tribal chief shows he's capable of great storytelling. But WWE's obsessive protection of him has turned him into a symbol of everything fans despise about the product. He's not hated because he's a bad wrestler. He's hated because he represents a system that refuses to evolve, refuses to listen, refuses to take risks. And maybe that's the point. Maybe WWE wants you to hate Roman. Maybe this is all part of some grand design where your frustration builds to a fever pitch and the eventual payoff will be worth it. But after 3 years, after 1,000 days, after countless buried talents and forgotten storylines, do you still believe that? Or has WWE just convinced themselves that any reaction is a good reaction, even if that reaction is millions of fans turning off the TV? Roman Reigns' reign will be remembered, but not for the reasons WWE thinks. It'll be remembered as the reign that proved WWE cares more about their vision than their audience. The reign that showed loyalty to corporate plans matters more than organic fan support. The reign that taught an entire generation of wrestlers that no matter how hard you work, no matter how over you get, if you're not the chosen one, you don't matter. So here's my final question, and I want you to flood the comments with your answer. Is Roman Reigns a great champion trapped in terrible booking, or is he complicit in the burial of everyone around him? Because that answer determines whether we blame the system or the man who benefits from it. Either way, this reign isn't legendary. It's a cautionary tale. And wrestling fans will never forget how it made them feel exhausted, ignored, and betrayed by the company they love.